In case you didn't know, children should probably not be listening to this podcast.
So if it's a comic book movie, that's in our wheelhouse. We're going to have a conversation about that, for sure.
It's a big thing right now. It will. And especially when it comes out, you'd be like, you know what? I was part of that.
You and me both.
I like to be butt ass naked.
Hell, I'm all about it.
Did that turn you on right now? Get off me. You sick bastard.
Are you picking up what I'm throwing down?
That means I gotta suck dick. I ain't doing it.
Because it's full of semen.
Those chicken nuggets are delicious, bro. What, a sleepover?
And welcome to another episode of the Squadcast podcast. I'm your host, Wane Tango.
And I am the dreaming the boys.
Dreaming the boy, fellas, guys.
They calls me the fat one and Patrick's and such.
Hello, Patrick's and such.
Hello, guy.
Today, we're doing something a little bit different than normal. We're probably going to be talking about video games and comic books and comic book movies and all the above. But we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. Because today, we have the Ostrich Primer joining us.
Hey! Hey, howdy, hey.
Introduce yourself, fellas.
Hey, I'm Dark Charlie. I play bass and sometimes I sing.
I'm Clay. I play guitar and occasionally sing.
Occasionally.
On the ups and ups I sing.
On the singing of the things and such.
If what you want to call what I do singing, that's still up for debate.
Yeah, we're still working on our whole talent section of the band.
How long have you guys been together?
Clay and I together have been making music for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good time to garner the talent. You know, that can always come later.
Yeah,
We've been working on our image
guys.
mostly, and then once we get that, first you get the khakis.
Right.
Then you get the chicks.
Oh, of course.
You get the khakis, then the chicks.
Yep.
See, that's the step
In that
that we
order.
missed.
See, I always thought it was rhinestones and sequins.
Right?
Then you get the chicks.
Yep. We shouldn't have invested all that money into
Or
eBay.
maybe you become a chick. Which is it?
Both. Prince. You become Prince.
Either way, you get vagina, right?
No, well, you have to have talent. Damn it. This is
Always the talent. That's always been the hook.
Yep. I don't have any talent of any kind.
That's the tricky part of the whole thing.
Except for video games.
I love video games.
I play video games badly. That's my talent.
I love me some video games.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we usually ask people like, what kind of video games do you like?
All of them.
All of them?
Let me ask you this. All right, Clay, what was the last game that you played?
Zombie. It's a downloadable game for PS4.
What'd you think about it?
Awesome. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here addicted to it all today, just like a zombie, ever since 6 this morning, trying to escape and not die at it. But it reminds me of the old school Resident Evils when they first came out, because you walk through a door and the door, you see that little cut screen where it watches the door open for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you die, and you're kind of the same
Is
thing.
it challenging?
Yeah, it is somewhat. It is to me.
Yeah.
I jump at everything, so
Right.
dog runs out barking, I jump.
But that's fun though. That's half the fun of the game for that type of game.
What system is that on?
PS4.
Okay.
That was now originally that was a Wii release, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is their remastering of it or whatnot. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out. I might need to look into it, though.
They've been doing a lot of remastering of older games. I think they've realized that sometimes we don't want fancy stuff.
Just recently, I played Grim Fandango. It came out for, I think, PS2 a few years ago or something.
Yeah.
There's not any fight scenes in the whole game. Everything is puzzle-based to solve the game. Everything's a puzzle that solves another puzzle that solves another puzzle.
Yeah.
And you just play a little dead travel agent.
Nice.
Someone dies and you sell them better packages to get to heaven or hell.
Oh,
And it's
that's
kind of cool.
That's cool.
And I'm addicted to it because everything has a kind of spaghetti western theme to it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of pixelated games.
I do
Huge
too.
fan of those.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of where I'm living at. Anything that's a side-scroller,
Yeah.
that's kind of... Anything that feels old,
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at.
Charlie's got pixelated video games on his arm.
Yeah, I've got the Mario tats.
Oh yeah.
That's right. You got to one-up a Boo and Star.
I hate him for that boo. I wanted a boo first.
What's the first game you ever played that you can remember?
First game I ever played was Pong.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents had it.
That's what's up.
Way back in the late 70s, early 80s.
We're not showing age here at all. Not even a little bit.
Seriously, Pong.
We're gonna rename it from the Squadcast to just old guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what it's like growing into.
I still have my copy of Atari's Journey Escape at my
Nice.
mom's house that still plays.
That's fantastic.
But I just started Arkham Knight on PS4, which is exactly the opposite of Pong.
How do you feel about it?
I like it so far. I haven't really gotten into it that far.
Okay.
Driving the Batmobile is a nice addition.
That is cool.
So did you play the other Arkham games?
Yes.
For me, City is home. Arkham City was the
love
absolute
City.
I love
best.
Arkham City.
I thought Origins was kind of garbage.
I haven't tried Origins yet.
It was cool. The shot gloves were cool. Everything else was kind of garbage.
Yeah, it was more of a throwback, I guess. It wasn't as cool as the others.
I was so excited for Night. That's why I bought my PS4. Well, that and for The Last of Us, because I bought The Last of Us edition. I was gonna just.
I've heard that was awesome.
And I just I didn't care for Night that much. I thought the Batmobile was kind of detracting from it, but if
I
you
haven't
go
really
from
got
City,
into it that far, but so far I've enjoyed it. But
it's
it's
very
nice that they
pretty.
finally started making good Batman games.
It's very pretty.
Have you played The Evil Within?
I have not.
I just got that.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, I've heard it's very scary. A lot of jump scenes, a lot of terror, just horror. Just
My wife
the
won't
whole
watch
play.
me play it. She
Really?
gets too scared. She has to leave.
No, I would be with her. I'm too chicken shit to play any of the new modern scary. Like, I think Doom 3 was probably the last scary game I could play.
Really?
Yeah, because as soon as it got into like high definition audio,
Yeah.
and
I mean that makes sense though.
yeah, like since it got into high definition audio, even with it like slightly pixelated, it was still like the audio just
Creepy.
makes the difference. And which one was it that you had the option of either holding the flashlight or a gun, but you couldn't hold both?
I don't remember.
Whichever one that was, it was either Doom 3 or 4, but that was the last one I played, and I was like, no, this is too scary.
I love horror, anything, video games, movies, books. I've seen you at conventions before, at those horror conventions.
Did you guys ever get the opportunity to get to play PT?
PT.
Yeah, it was Guillermo del Toro and who's the guy that made freaking Metal Gear Solid? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now. Anyway, it was their version of a Silent Hill game, and
wow.
it was a PT stood for playable trailer or teaser or whatever, and the idea was for Norman Reedus, and this was like during the time that they had picked him up for The Walking Dead, that he was going to be the star of this new Silent Hill game. And they put out this level that you got to play, and it started out, you open a door and you're going through it, and it just gets the more you walk through this apartment, you find out that it's like a circular paradox type thing. You kind of keep repeating
wow.
it, and the further in you go in, the more dilapidated and crazy it gets, and then it just starts to get really fucking scary. And it will make you shit your pants. If you can find any possible way to play it, do it. If not, watch somebody play it.
I'm going to check that
What
out.
system is that?
It was for PS4, but here's the thing: when they fired Kojima, that's his name. When they fired Kojima from Konami, they dropped the project totally. So it was almost done, and we almost had it. And
I
it was
think
done.
any game that has Norman Reedus in it is good. That's a good game.
Yeah.
But it's a good start for a game.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm half in there.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this game could suck a little. It's got Norman Reedus, and still be all right.
Right.
You know what game I want them to make? I want to see them make a brand new Evil Dead game, Ash versus Evil Dead, based on the series. Like they have all the other Evil Dead games, like Hail to the King, Fistful of Boomstick, and Regeneration. There it is.
I think
I want some more single-player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5, damn it.
yeah, that would be
me
cool.
too.
I've been waiting years for that.
I'm really tired of what they keep putting out. I've actually stopped playing it because I don't want to, like that new update that they did with the Teen Wolf stuff and all that. It was so buggy. It was like, hey, you can join in any lobby that you want to, and it's this certain game type, and it looks really fun. And you just got to wait for us to call you on it. Like you get in there and you get your cell phone out and you wait for them to call you, and you never get the goddamn call. And you're just like,
Oh, that would piss me off.
Yeah, thanks for adding these things that I can't use. I don't like Grand Theft Auto anymore. Makes
He
me
and
mad.
I, when we were playing on PS3 servers, we could never get it to connect.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
crashed all the time. Every time we'd get together, one of us would get booted off, and we'd have to reconnect to servers. So
We had some similar experiences as well with that, trying to play with Jason.
Actually, we done pretty good.
Oh, I know that whenever I was playing with Jason over at your house, that there was this one particularly run the drugs, run the meth, whatever, and you're in a speedboat, and every time that we tried to get in this thing and load it, it would boot us out. Every single time. Or when we would get in it, the meth would fall out and go down to the bottom of the ocean. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
it was getting us. We'd be halfway through the mission, and the other person would just go dormant.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you stopped, he would run out of the car and just run off. And I would
then-
text Clay and be like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's
Yeah.
like, "It's not me.
Yeah,
I'm still in the
driving.
clouds
Yeah.
waiting to load in."
Yeah. If only they could fix it. What I want them to do is fuck any more GTA. Put out another Red Dead, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Come on. Give me
love
another
the
Red
Dead
Dead.
games
I
so
love
much.
the Red Dead games.
Oh, man.
He turned me on to the Red Dead games, actually.
You still have my guide, actually.
Yes, I do.
No.
God.
Bringing out skeletons and closets right here on Squadcast Podcast.
See,
Well,
what's
that's
cool?
that's 2 games in a row that you can hunt Sasquatch.
Yes.
What's the other
Yes.
game?
Both.
I know they can do it on the...
5.
Yeah, GTA,
Oh,
and you
that's
can do
right.
it on
Was it in 5 or 4?
4.
Yeah, 4.
Because the fifth one is where you're getting UFO parts.
Yeah.
And you're looking for aliens in that game.
I want them to just release a paranormal style game where when you wake up in the woods, you don't know how you got there, and as you trace your steps, you find out you were abducted by aliens, but you have to avoid Bigfoot, and the woods are haunted.
That'd be kind of cool. Well, they have
It would be
Slender
like-
Man.
That is pretty cool.
Have you seen the Shrek version of Slender Man?
Yes.
What?
Oh, man.
It is the creepiest thing you've ever seen. Ever.
It's pretty funny, though.
All right, Slender Man is kind of freaky. Like I've never played it, but I've watched enough online videos to get a good idea of it. But there's a version that has Shrek on it, and you have to collect pieces of a cake.
Yeah.
I think you have to collect 6 pieces of something, or before he kills you.
It's a pastry.
It's something, but it is hilarious and terrifying at the same time.
So tell us what's going on in you guys' world.
Yeah,
Ostrich Primer
what's
world.
new with the primer?
We've been playing a lot here recently. We've got some big shows coming up. We're working on our first concept album. Now we're going to try and do a horror-themed album. We're going to call it Paranormal.
Oh, I like that.
Kind of a nod to Black Sabbath's Paranoid, because
Yeah.
they're heavier than what we usually write.
Right.
Which we gave you guys the first track, Zombie Strippers from Mars.
Yeah.
That's going to be on
Which,
there.
if you stick around to the end of the Squadcast with permission, we're going to play it in
Hell
its
yeah.
entirety.
That would be awesome.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So you guys got any songs coming up for it? Anything you can...
We have a new song that we're working on called Hell Comes Home.
Okay.
That's really cool. And it's about this. Honestly, it's a relationship where, you have a perspective from the guy,
Sure.
and his girl's just getting bitchier and bitchier and bitchier and meaner and meaner and meaner. And that's pretty much the song. Is this guy's going crazy, but he's obsessed with this girl. And then in the middle of the song, it does a 180, and you kind of hear, you see it from the girl's perspective, and she's going crazy from drugs, and it's kind of.
I got a different take on the song altogether. I think it's somebody recovering from a drug addiction. It's sort of written out
a little vague.
ambiguously, I guess. It
See,
can be a bad relationship. It can be a drug thing. It
That's
can
the
be-
coolest thing about music, though, is one person's take on it. You can get any. They listen to a song, 7 different people is going to have 7 different takes on it.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because if you make it relatable enough, it can adapt to any situation.
Well, that comes back to like any interview you hear with the Eagles and them talking about Hotel California.
Yeah.
Everybody asks, "What's that song about?" And they've got one answer every time. It's like it's whatever you want it to be about.
Right. Exactly.
And that's usually the trademark of a really good song. It speaks to me. It means something specific to me. It touches me in a very specific way.
Oh yes, it does.
Yeah. But then if you hear like your favorite musician who wrote that song talk about it, and then go, well, it's about my dog.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that clearly was not about the thing I thought it was.
Right.
It's kind of like that song from the Foo Fighters, "Why'd You Have to Go and Let It Die," and you think it's about like a relationship, and really it's a. When Dave went on tour or whatever, he left his friend in charge of keeping his houseplants alive, and it didn't work, and he let it die. And why'd you have to go and let it die? And that's what the song's about.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's
I did
just
not
cool
know
to
that
me.
either.
I love Dave Grohl.
Dude, he's so crazy, man. Pretty genius guy.
See, I'm not mad about that though.
No, me either. No, it's just you can hear it and it's like, oh yeah. Why did you have to go and let our relationship die? No, that's about my plant. Well, yeah. Why'd you have to let that die too, man? That's fucked up.
I love that plant.
This is my favorite.
I bet Dave
plant.
Grohl's life is a lot like Dewey Cox from the movie Walk Hard. He's walking around one day, he's like, "Why'd you have to go and let it die?"
An army of didgeridoos.
10,000 didgeridoos.
I'd like to command an army of pigeons.
You would.
Yeah, I would put little saddles on them, and then smaller squirrels would ride them.
Wait, where are you going to find squirrels that small? Even baby squirrels might be questionable.
Don't question my pigeon.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah. You'll be the first.
Pre-adolescent squirrels could probably pull it off.
See?
Yeah, but they're too angsty
Oh,
to
that's
control.
true.
But I can downsize breed them.
Wait,
be
isn't
miniature
angsty squirrels the best kind of squirrel? though?
That's our
what I
age
want.
demographic. Yes.
I want them so upset that
They're
they're even on these
rebellious.
videos.
Write
but they
music
still
for
don't
young
understand
angry
why.
squirrels.
See, it's always a good talking point.
Right?
Army of angry pigeons with squirrels.
Wait, now the pigeons are angry?
I mean, they're all in slavery, so they're not very happy about it.
Right.
I mean, would you be if you had a squirrel on your back with a tiny saddle?
I don't know. Am I being commanded by the Beastmaster?
It could be mind control.
Wait, what was those two? Podo and Frodo? Podo.
I don't know.
Dang it. I'm the only one that knows what I'm talking about right now.
Apparently so,
This
yes.
is the bad
Yeah.
part of.
Okay, really bad 80s. No, it wasn't even that bad. Really 80s movie called The Beastmaster.
I remember that movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Those were the ferrets, right?
Yeah,
The
two ferrets.
Yeah.
Podo and...
Wasn't Dolph Lundgren the Beastmaster?
Yes, he was.
No, I don't think it was
I
Dolph
don't think
Lundgren.
It was Dolph Lundgren.
It wasn't?
It was a guy who did... In a fuzzy memory, definitely could have been Dolph Lundgren.
Was it the guy that played He-Man in the Masters of the Universe, or was that Dolph
was
Lundgren?
Dolph
That was Dolph
Lundgren.
That was Dolph Lundgren.
So you're telling me that the Beastmaster is not Dolph Lundgren?
Apparently, they're all Dolph Lundgren.
I don't think so. I mean, it's easily been 20 years since I've watched that movie.
Because I know the Punisher was also Dolph Lundgren,
Yes.
and I'm
One of
pretty
them.
sure he was in the Beastmaster too. But I could
Every
be wrong.
version of the Punisher was actually Dolph Lundgren.
It was every one of them, even Thomas Jane. Nope, that's Dolph. Mm-hmm. I would have
That was
liked.
just Dolph Lundgren and Thomas Jane makeup.
I would have liked it better if they would have just recasted Dolph Lundgren. To be honest with you,
I'm glad to see him actually showing up and shit again.
me too, man.
What,
I really
now
enjoyed
that
it.
he can speak English?
Yes. I saw him in a commercial the other day. I'm not even sure what product it was they were selling, but I was completely on board.
Right? I don't even care. Dolph, are you selling the Squatty Potty? I would like to poop better too. Let me buy that.
I will poop you.
Have you? Whoa.
That was kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch The Expendables?
I've seen bits and pieces of
You
them.
I
watch
have
them?
not.
They're
no.
bad. They're bad. They're so good though, but they're bad.
I heard a lot of the same.
The third one features Mel Gibson as the bad guy, so just go with that.
Does he call anybody sugar tits?
No, but I think he does get mad at some Jews.
That's
I
par
think-
for the course.
I'm pretty sure he called somebody Skittle Nipples.
You know, regardless of Mel Gibson's craziness, I still love his movies.
Oh
yeah, I do too.
Payback is one of my favorite movies ever, I think.
Did you watch Apocalypto?
I have not.
He directed it, and so he wasn't in it. But man, it was good.
It's intense.
It is intense. It's very sad, and then I don't know.
It's about the Mayans
the Mayans and
or the Aztecs.
well, with both. It was about all those cultures, and there was a village, and I can't remember what group of the people that they belonged to, but they were invaded, and the people were getting raped and murdered and all this, and then there was a couple of them that tried to run off. The main character in the story, there's not necessarily a main person, but just the main focus of the story. He leaves his wife and child in a hole and has to run off and protect them and come back, and it's just fucking crazy. He gets all the way to the pyramids and watching people getting beheaded for rain, and this
Is it
his
pretty
first-
gory?
Yeah, oh yeah. And
That
this is the
sounds right up my
very
alley.
gory.
and this is the first time he has ever experienced anything outside of his village, so he's just like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then he has to, man, I don't want to tell you everything. You have to watch it. There's a lot of spear chucking in this movie.
and it's kind of an older movie,
It
too.
is older. I think it was like 2010, maybe 11,
Wow.
I wanted to say that movie's at least 10 years old now.
maybe. I can't remember. It's been a while. Yeah, it was since I was married.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, at least 10 years.
This
Wow.
movie's been around for a minute.
And it's stunning too. It's graphically stunning.
It's interesting.
I'll check that out.
very well shot.
Yeah. I mean, if you ain't got anything else going on, and
My
you're-
backlog's pretty thick, but I'll find a
That
way to get it in
one's,
there somewhere.
That one's all subtitled, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So that's
English.
pretty cool.
No English in this film.
That doesn't really bother me because I'm so deaf from the bands from all the years.
Right.
Everything I watch has subtitles on it
Same,
anyway. So
same.
Agreed.
And I watch a lot of anime, so
I do too.
So I just deal with that. I like subtitles.
Yeah, I think Full Metal Alchemist got me to completely get over that hump.
Really.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can't stand, I can't watch anime with somebody else in the room because I gotta fucking read it.
Right.
So, and if you're trying to talk to me, I gotta turn it off.
And usually,
So
without
YouTube.
fail, that other person in the room has never watched that before. So they are like, okay, so what's going on? Who's that guy?
Please shut the fuck up.
Why is he
Why
doing
is
that?
Why? How come there's lightning shooting out behind him?
I was watching Game of Thrones with someone the other day, and this is their first experience with it. And I get right out the gate, you're not going to know who people are, so I get questions. But whenever we're on episode 7, shut the fuck up and watch it. Is he going to die? Yes, everyone dies. Literally everyone dies in the show, so just know that. You love him? Great, he's dead.
I learned last
See,
year.
one of the better things about Game of Thrones was learning that harsh reality. Yeah. And not fully accepting it until season 3.
Right? What were you going to say?
I learned last year real hard. My fiance turned me on to Game of Thrones a few years ago, and so I've caught up the last couple seasons, and I learned firsthand. Do not let anything slip about anything you see in that show, like on social media. There was a king on there, Joffrey.
Yeah.
I'm a spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen it,
Get a life.
I can't remember
Yeah,
what
that's a
season.
couple seasons back.
Yeah,
You're behind
I
anyways.
can't remember what season it was, but they finally kill him, and I remember rejoicing, happy, spitting shit and just being tickled to death, getting on Facebook and saying, "Fucking Joffrey is dead."
Yeah.
And the list of messages I got was just ungodly.
Yeah, you can't spoil anything on Facebook now because people get so butthurt.
Well, here's the thing. All right, if you do it within, let's say a month of it airing,
That's fine. Yeah.
okay, then yeah, you're being a dick. But if you're more than a month behind and
I
you
thought a month was
truly
okay.
care about the, whatever it is,
I think a month is okay. I think if you wait a couple weeks, if you haven't seen it, then that's not my fault.
I'm going to say a month
A
on
month
anything.
is a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, when Star Wars Episode 7 came out, I turned my Facebook off for like 5 days until I could make it out to see it.
Right. I think
Dude, that was a good call for you because I went and watched opening night,
I did too.
and that was the second showing on opening night, and I almost got spoiled.
Oh, wow.
Almost.
I went to the first showing, the very first showing they had there. And that's the only thing I was thankful for, is not knowing ahead of time there was no spoilers. No one had seen it yet. So I just went in and watched it and then just didn't ruin it for people.
Yeah, I just completely stayed off social media until I got to see it.
Same thing for Deadpool.
It's strange here because, like, as far
I don't think there was a lot to spoil in Deadpool. Though.
no, not
but
really.
there's, but
I mean,
there's
you could have
great
ruined
jokes
a plot point
or
maybe.
a joke or something.
Yeah.
But I subscribe to the
Spoiler
way of
alert,
life of
you get to see Deadpool CGI Wang.
right. Oh no!
Ryan Reynolds was very happy about it. Yes.
I subscribe to the style of life of I don't even watch trailers really. The only time I watch a trailer is if we're about to talk about it, and like usually it's the first time I've seen it is when he pulls it up.
I just have to say, you mentioned trailer. I'm just get the elephant out of the room. What do you guys think about Civil War? Captain America. Whose side are you on? What superheroes are you excited to see in the movie?
Man.
Okay, see now I have to separate it between the MCU and the comic universe.
He's hosting us now. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
He's ready for this one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
fired up.
I've been geeking since way back.
All right, now we've already kind of touched on it on 2 podcasts ago, I think.
Yeah, but
whenever
I'm
the trailer was
so
hot.
okay with this
Oh yeah,
discussion.
we can go back and revisit that conversation.
all day.
I'm all right. If you're asking me which side I'm on as far as the MCU is concerned, I'm totally leaning on Captain America.
Okay.
Anti-registration for sure.
Yeah. So I'm
And for the listeners, I'm going to show my geekiness with you guys. And the Civil War is basically they wanted to register all the superheroes and their aliases to get them under contract and control. Captain America doesn't want them to. Tony Stark does, pretty
Right.
much. Simplified.
and that's the comic storyline, and I don't think the MCU is doing registration.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that the Civil War is over Bucky, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the trailers that I've seen make it seem like it's more over Bucky and just superheroes being liable for
Right.
stuff.
But who is all the superheroes in this one? I saw Black Panther, of course, Spider-Man, which looks awesome
I
to
saw
me.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's in it. Falcon.
Falcon.
I don't think Hulk is going to be in this.
No.
is he? No.
Hulk
So-
is not going to.
But
be
I saw
in
in one of the trailers,
it. And neither is Thor.
I heard Doctor Strange is in it. That,
Oh.
Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
I have not heard that.
It'll be the
I
first-
don't.
heard that
Stay
either.
away from him.
Yeah. Doctor Who is
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who is Doctor Strange.
Oh, what?
Yeah, the guy who plays Doctor Who is also Doctor Strange. What's his name?
oh,
He
so
was also Khan in the new Star
Benedict
Trek.
Oh,
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay, so I see. This is how much I don't watch Doctor Who. I didn't know that Benedict was.
See, I
a
can never
doctor.
say his name right.
Benedict
I always called him
Cumberbatch.
like Dick or Snitch Cumberbatch.
Benedict.
Dick or Snitch.
That
Dick or
sounds like
Snitch.
a Harvey Potter character, Harry Potter character.
Harry Porter.
Harry Potter.
That's gonna be my knockoff series. Oh, Harvey Porter
Harvey Porter. He's
and
a
a half black chick.
I think that was a porno, actually.
If it's not, it should be.
Oh, Harvey, you're so sexy.
Sometimes the one chooses you.
I'm more excited about Spider-Man in this movie than anything.
Yeah.
Because I that's my favorite superhero. Next to Ant-Man, and they ruined Ant-Man for
Did
me.
you-
So
Did you
You
read a
didn't
lot
care
of
for
Ant-Man?
Ant-Man?
I loved Ant-Man. I hate the fact that they didn't make him Hank Pym, and I hate the fact
Yeah.
that they made Tony Stark the creator of Ultron. Like, what the fuck is that? That is not how that works.
Okay, to me that was plausible, but Hank Pym was still in it. He just wasn't Ant-Man.
Yeah, he just kind of passed the torch on.
Yeah.
Again,
But
that.
as far as who they had as Hank Pym,
Paul Rudd.
No.
You mean
Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were going to say who they made him Ant-Man, because I think Paul Rudd was a good cast.
I do too.
I just
I
really
think they
wish that
both
he-
was.
just
Marvel
wish he
does an
was.
excellent job of its casting. That's why
Sometimes
He's a likable enough
I think the new
character.
the new guy playing Spider-Man is going to be cool. I can't remember what his name is. Tom.
I'm not even Tom Segura. I'm not even sure.
I wish.
I would give anything to see that. Spider. Hey yo!
I'm glad Spider-Man's going to be in it. I wish they would just quit rebooting him, though.
I'm glad they're going to give him the CGI eyes where he looks like the originals.
Like they did with Deadpool.
Yeah.
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 Did he give him the eyes, and he's actually got the mechanical firing, the web canisters. He's going to have a little utility belt.
See, now I'm
And
with
he's even
you
got the
on-
little webbing under the arms.
the classic looking suit, except for the little armbands. But I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
See, now I've ranted on this before, but I'm completely with you on the rebooting. With the exception of, I'm okay with it rebooting and being a new character and all that, but we do not have to have an origin story every time.
Everyone knows the origin story of Spider-Man.
Okay, if you haven't caught the origin story of Spider-Man now through 3 different reboots, okay, you're probably not going to get it.
Right.
Yep.
All right, or ask the guy to your left or to your right, because I promise you, one of those two will know.
Little kids know what happened. Oh, he got bit by a radioactive spider.
It's
Let's
American
move on.
mythology. Everybody should
Okay.
know it.
Yeah.
His
All right.
uncle died.
Yeah,
He's angry about it.
There's 2 things in the Marvel Universe that'll never ever change. One, Uncle Ben always stays dead.
Yeah, he ain't coming back.
He's always there.
He only on that box of rice.
Because if Uncle Ben ever come back to life, well, that just kind of undoes everything for Spider-Man to begin with.
Yeah. Why even become Spider-Man?
That was his whole motivation.
Yeah, yeah. Why be Spider-Man if the one thing that inspired you to be Spider-Man undid itself?
I'm kind of excited about Black Panther being
Me
in
too.
the movie.
Me too. He's on Tony Stark's side, correct?
I think so.
Is he not? I'm pretty sure he was in the comics, right?
No, well, Black Panther wasn't a big player in
I
the
thought
comics.
he was in the Civil War, though.
He wasn't a big player though.
Oh,
But I'm surprised they didn't bring in some of the other characters from the movies they've done recently, like X-Men or Deadpool or
That's a copyright problem.
Yeah,
That's
it's all
where it is.
Fox and
Yeah,
any of the Fantastic Four. I didn't see any of the Fantastic Four.
That's
There's a
Fox.
reason you didn't see that shit.
yeah. Because you got MCU is the biggest universe. All right, that's the Marvel Studio universe.
Right?
All right, so that's where like the Avengers and all the standalones that's come out recently that's been good has all been that. They're putting a whole lot of forethought into those things, which is why the quality of those is a little bit higher than the rest of them. And you start seeing nods from the other movies. Then you get like the new Fantastic Four, which I don't know if you guys have.
I didn't
I
even bother
have.
to see it.
I have.
Yeah, it's a good idea, poorly executed.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I liked the graphics of it. I thought the story was cool. But I left unfulfilled. I just
Totally.
I also don't see the point, and it's not, seriously, it's not really not a race issue, but I don't understand the point of changing the storyline to making Johnny Storm black. Like, what was the purpose of that? Like, that didn't fulfill the character in any way.
and I agree.
It would have made sense if they would have done it.
I don't think it necessarily took away from the character.
I'm not saying it took away. I'm just saying, what was the point? Because it's just a curveball.
To get a bigger name in.
See, I agree with him though.
Why?
It was like one of my favorite characters of all time. I have every single movie is James Bond. I try to have as many books and movies as I can possibly find, and I love Bond. Well, they're talking about when Daniel Craig finally stops being James Bond. And I think it's supposed to be after this last movie, Spectre.
Right.
They're thinking about getting Idris Elba into the role.
He's also going to be the gunslinger in the Dark Tower series,
Right.
I heard.
He's an excellent actor. I mean, this guy's awesome. But how do you link it to all the other movies that builds up? Because James Bond was always a Scottish white guy who worked
Well,
for
you know,
British Secret Service.
They kind of had the same problem with Daniel Craig because they're like, he's blonde, he can't be Bond.
Right.
Yeah. I think the only reason that you can do that, though, is because James Bond is an agent. So, I mean, you can literally name another agent James Bond.
That's a good
There
point.
could be
007.
multiple.
Well, see,
Right.
that was always been my understanding of the universe is that
Right.
James Bond is not a person; it's a code name.
Right. So that's the only way I could get behind that. And I'm not really even conflicted with the fact that he's playing Roland. Just because Roland never really was described as necessarily a white guy. It was just a
Well,
person.
in the second book, The Drawing of the Three, Detta Walker constantly referred to him as gray meat. And,
That's
you
true.
know,
She did always call him
and-
a cracker and stuff like that too. Yeah, that's true. So I guess
Plus, he's got the pale blue eyes.
Right.
I don't know.
So
I
how
think,
are they going to even play on that one unless they make Dead of White?
Yeah, I don't know how she's going to be racist against him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I think he's an awesome actor, and I think he'll do a fine job. It's just
I'm just
they're
fucking
gonna have to
excited that they're
change some
finally
things
making
around.
it.
I don't know. They could play him up to be Greek, which is kind of like the
Sure.
middle ground.
Sure.
Because
I
you
just
could be
hope-
dark
I
tone.
hope they do it justice.
I mean, they could always just turn it around and she could just be racist to a black guy because she's super racist anyway.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing with me. Like, I know you guys are really into the Dark Tower series, but
Fucking love it.
I'm only like a
It's my
passing fan
favorite
of it
series
at
ever.
best. So, like, if they do it bad, I wouldn't know the difference.
No, I'll tell you.
I would just know if it's a good movie or a bad movie. That's all I can tell.
Well, call me. I'll let you know.
Who was your favorite character in the Dark Tower series?
Oh, wow. That's... Dang. Maybe Oi, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I liked Oi
He was
too.
just... Every time I read something he did, I smiled.
Yeah.
When Eddie died, you know, I cried a little
I did
without meaning to.
Yeah.
It just leaked out. It wasn't really tears, it was man juice, I
Pussy.
guess. For,
No, man, that book made me cry a bunch.
That
whole
room
series
was
did.
really hot, and you were sweating.
from my
Through your eyes.
from my eyes. Yes.
Condensation.
Mine was Jake. I love
Jake.
Jake Chambers. He's the most versatile character. Motherfucker died 3 times.
A very tragic figure, yeah.
He dies 3 times in that book. Spoiler alert, sorry.
He
But-
dies 3 times, goes insane for a while.
Yeah.
It was- yeah.
He had it the worst. He's the Sansa of that book.
The Sansa,
Yeah.
dude, that girl does
Hey,
not get a fair shake
Hey,
anyway.
No,
she
she
got herself
doesn't.
into most of that.
Well,
True, but it seems like the world of Game of Thrones just sucks everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, I just assume that you're going to have to kill and maim pretty much everybody just to get by.
I'm pretty excited that they're just stepping now. We're just now getting to the realm where they're stepping outside of the books and everything is brand new.
Yep.
no, here's my thing on it. There's a few people who's been able to sidestep some shit sandwiches throughout the entire series. All right, Tyrion is one of them.
Oh, of course.
Like, bad things happen to everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. It's just how well does the world react to those bad things happening to you.
Charlie, do you watch Game of Thrones?
I have not yet.
Oh no,
Man, I love Game of Thrones.
we've got to
So
get you
that
caught
makes
up.
me want to stop talking about it altogether because it's that good.
Yeah,
The book and the TV show.
100%. You should. I think you would love it.
It is great. I mean, I had a friend one time describe Game of Thrones who didn't like it, say, "Oh man, it's just tits and dragons." But that's a selling point for me. Like,
how
what?
can you get mad at tits and dragons?
I do love both of those.
That's the next season's trailer. If you haven't watched it yet, that's it.
Tits and dragons.
And I'm excited as hell for Tits and Dragons for next season.
Me too, man.
Yeah, I plan on watching that too. I'll binge watch it
You should.
once I
man.
get
It's
into it.
Fantastic.
I'm excited for Ash versus Evil Dead season 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason, our other co-host that does this with us from time to time, he his big idea is that he's going to wait until the entire series is done, and then he'll sit and binge watch it over the course of 2 or 3 days.
It's not a bad idea if it comes on Netflix or something.
But the problem
it's
is
HBO.
he already knows everything that's happening, but he has no like concept of that knowledge he actually has, because he knows what the Red Wedding is. He knows what happens. He knows all these like big controversial points that everybody's like, "Oh my effing god," you know.
That was an episode where I actually caught myself gasping at the television like,
Me too. Without giving anything away, when that shit went down, I was like, "What the fuck?
yeah,
What's happening right now?"
yeah. There was actually, you had to cool down after the episode
Yeah.
when the credits were rolling. Like, what just happened?
That's why it was silent. That's why it was silent after that. There was no noise after that episode. There was like one of the only. There was like maybe 2 other episodes that they did that, where there was no music, just credits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's still just a little bit left to the books that they're got to put to video, but I mean, there's not a whole lot left at all.
Well, knowing them, they may not even freaking touch on it because you know what they did with Hound and Brienne of Tarth.
not Sansa, the other one, Arya.
Arya.
Yeah, they still got a lot to do with Arya.
Yeah.
I heard they're going to make a video game. I know they have a few games out already, but I heard they're going to make an open world Game of Thrones where
Maybe.
Like a
I
World
hope
of
they-
Warcraft kind of.
kind of like World of Warcraft meets Grand Theft Auto in the worlds of Game of Thrones, where you play as one of the characters that are big, like Sansa or Tyrion.
You know,
or
couldn't you just like reskin Skyrim and it'd pretty much be it?
Almost. You'd have a better time reskinning Grand Theft Auto, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine it'd be that far off.
Nah, it's the type of map, and then like even the gameplay. I wouldn't want to play a Skyrim version of Game of Thrones. I'd much rather play a third person.
I love Skyrim.
I do too. That's why I don't want it to be messed with.
The only thing is, okay,
This game is good. Stop trying to fuck with it.
my stepson has Skyrim for his computer, and he mods it all the time.
Yeah.
And he shows me all these cool shit that he's done with his mods. And there's one where you can actually do his members a kiss. So he's running through the field as Gene Simmons with makeup and fire and a sword. I'm just like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, really though, that's pretty sweet.
When I saw Gene Simmons blow fire and kill a dragon who was also blowing fire, I was like, that's it.
That's what they should have made that movie. Not the one where they were like haunting Times Square or whatever it was. Oh man, now I would watch that movie.
Have you seen the Randy Savage dragon?
No.
If that's not the greatest thing in the world. They literally reskin one of the dragons.
I forgot about the Randy Savage dragon.
I think I saw it on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what it sounds like. It's Randy Savage's head with the hat and the glasses. And the neck, long neck, and the rest is just dragons. Just Randy Savage head, all dragons.
So the dragon's got Randy Savage tassels and stuff.
Oh,
on
yeah,
it, too.
that's right.
And it's fantastic.
And it literally just flies around. It's like, oh, yeah.
It's just sound clips from him from WCW. It's like, I'm going to get you. Yeah.
It always makes me crave a Slim Jim.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
That is amazing stuff.
Yeah, and they've got the things where you can change the dragons to Thomas the Tank.
Really?
Thomas the Tank Engine, yeah. They've got the original incantation of it is the opening sequence where you get ready to name your character and then they put your head down and get ready to cut it off, and then instead of hearing "Rah!" in the background, you hear just a very faint Thomas, and they're like, "What is that?" And then you see you see this big Thomas the Tank Engine just crash into the scene and just ruin everything for everybody. And you're like, it's trains. And then I think there's an actual game version where they can mod it where it's nothing but chaos going on with these Thomas the Tank Engines. It's just 50,000 dragons tank engines.
That's
it's ridiculous.
awesome.
Modern gaming.
Yeah, modding and glitching.
Man, I remember when I was a kid and I had regular Nintendo. And my dad, my mom supported my video game habit and bought all the Nintendo games I can possibly want. When the Game Genie first came out,
Oh, yeah.
you could stick that game in the Game Genie and you looked up the actual codes and you could cheat on every single game that ever came out.
Right.
Which was like the first kind of modding I ever did to a video game. I remember it just blew
Big
my
head mode.
Yes.
Or just Infinite
Yeah.
Flight, or it blew my mind, dude. Like to this day, I still think back with reverence of the Game Genie for,
Have you been to the Coliseum here in town?
we
Oh, yeah. We play there frequently.
Okay.
We and the Ostrich Primer have played there a couple times.
So then, have you been in that the area of? I more or less, man. Have you been in there by yourself?
Yes.
Just like, have you been in that gaming area where they've got
Yes.
Game Genies in there?
I actually saw that the other day, and I was
Game
thinking,
Sharks.
man, I've still at my mom's house. I still have all the books for them, like in certain games circled and highlighted,
Right.
and I was just thinking how cool that is out there. That store is in town.
Yeah, it's such
My
a
first
nostalgic.
Game Genie I got, I lost the book to it within like 2 months.
Really?
Yeah, and you want to talk about the most aggravating, useless piece of plastic you can ever own?
This was before Google, so you couldn't
Yeah,
just...
it's not like I could
look it
got
up.
online. Yeah, so I had to hopefully find a friend at school that had one, and they'd be willing for me to call them at random points of the day and be like, "Hey, what's the code for Tiger Heli?"
I'll never forget as a kid, we owned this game Star Tropics for the regular Nintendo.
I remember
such
that
a
game.
good
Oh,
game.
Oh God,
Love
that's a
that
classic.
game. Okay, towards the end, there's this little puzzle where you have to play a little bitty piano. Well, I was just like a kid, 5, 6 years old. At the time, wasn't a musician yet.
Right.
Didn't understand the rudiments of, cartoon piano.
Uh-huh.
Well, we must have tried this puzzle like 50, 60, 70 times. I remember my dad actually racking up a $500 phone bill because he called Nintendo to find somebody to explain.
Oh, the
how-
tip line.
Yes,
Yeah,
the tip
Nintendo
line. and-
tip line.
And in the back of the book. I remember him arguing with a little Asian lady on the phone how to do this, and they had a translator between them. She'd go, she'd speak, and then the translator would go, "You need to press the buttons that open the door." And my dad getting mad, yelling back at me what he's saying. And as a kid, I'm trying not to cry. Just like, okay,
I don't want to play this game anymore, Daddy.
But looking back, I think it's hilarious because, now you can just, when my stepkid wants to find a code or something in the game, he just opens up his phone, click, click, click. All right, got it. And goes right back to what he's doing. But
yeah, he don't even ask you.
yeah, you don't care.
Yeah. They don't
My
need
kid's
you.
always looking up stuff for video games. The weird thing is he watches other people play video games on YouTube.
Like Twitch and all that stuff.
Yeah, and he will just for hours just watch someone else play a different video game.
My nephew, he is 10 years old. He will watch somebody play Minecraft for 6 hours, but he won't play it for more than an hour.
There's websites for that. There's one called a Video Game Theater. When I used to have a night job for years, I'd work 14 hours a night. On Video Game Theater, you could watch all these classic and newer games played from start to finish, one sweep with this person not ever having to save or die. So it's kind of like watching a movie. Mm-hmm. I used to do that with all the Resident Evils and the old
pretty
Silent
cool,
Hills.
actually.
Check it out. It's a Video Game Theater.
Because that's half the reason that I play video games is for those storylines.
Mm-hmm.
That's
me
why.
too.
That's why The Last of Us was so important to me. That was, if you haven't played it,
I haven't played
and you've
that
got a
one yet.
PS4, just stop this interview and buy it now. And yeah, you get out. No, if you're a gamer, play that game. It's one of the best I've ever played. The storyline is immaculate. The controls are a little weird, but they're good. And I mean, I've never really cried while playing a video game. That one made me cry 4 times, 3 times, 4 times. I don't know how many fingers I got.
That's a strong commendation.
Yeah. And sometimes in the first 10 minutes, especially if you have kids.
Wow.
I know there's a lot of the modern games that I don't get a chance to play. I'll watch all the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Like Gods Among Us,
Yeah.
the last, Mortal Kombat style DC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a really cool song on that Gods Among Us game called The Kids Aren't All Right from, what was the name of that band? Well, screw it. I can't remember that now. It's a song that is really cool.
I know the song. The Kids Aren't All Right.
Yeah.
That's not. It's the Butthole Surfers.
No.
I love the Butthole Surfers.
I can't remember who did that.
AWOL Nation.
There it
Was
is.
it AWOL?
Yeah.
Yep, AWOL Nation.
Oh.
This Kid's Not All Right. That was a big single that came out of that.
Yeah. If you heard it, you'd know it.
I probably would.
Yeah.
Are there any video games that you guys have played that you got so close to beating and just never could get that nut?
Yes. Yes, actually.
Super Mario 3.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get stuck?
I think I was at 8-4. I mean, at the very last tank level,
Yeah.
I just never could beat it. I could get all the way there, and eventually I would just
The
throw the
floating ships,
controller.
right?
And
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, I don't think I ever completed. That's one of the only ones I haven't completed.
It's a tough one.
It really pissed me off.
Really annoying.
For me being a retro gamer, I never beat the original Mario.
Really?
Not legit.
Okay.
Not legit.
Right?
Whenever I say not legit, I mean on a NES.
Right.
I have beat it emulated,
Mm-hmm.
but to me that doesn't feel
Yeah,
real.
it's not quite the same. Earthbound and Chrono Trigger. I never finished either one of those.
I love Earthbound. I've still got my copy.
My favorite thing about Earthbound, and even Nintendo, this is what I liked about Nintendo, is in the Nintendo Power magazines when they were first teasing Earthbound and talking about it, they had a guide for, put the game in and play it, and when you get to a certain part of this level, come over here to the book and flip to this page and scratch this thing and smell it. This is what the place smells like. So it would immerse you into the
wow.
world. So, and some of this shit was the stinkiest stuff, and they would talk about it in the game. It was like, oh, this place smells like Limburger or whatever. And I remember my favorite part of that game was you go out into the desert, and if your health was low, you could order a pizza. But the further away you were from the pizza store, is longer how long it took. And it would tell you, it'd be like, all right, well, it'll take us 45 minutes, and you could literally set your controller down and watch the clock for 45 minutes, and the pizza would come to you.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that game. I still play it occasionally. I'll break out the SNES and
Chrono Trigger, I think, was my favorite Super Nintendo game, though. I think.
I got stuck on Destroy All Humans.
Oh, that was a good one, too.
I love that game. It was kind of simple. I really got behind the sci-fi aspect of it all, and I really got into it. I found all the collectibles and all the little alien probes you're supposed to find. And
you can explode cows. Come
Yes.
on.
I made it all the way to the last boss, which was the 50-foot president or something, and you're getting shot by every weapon around you, and it's it's almost impossible. And I took a break one night while I was at work, and I had my video games at work. I go inside to use the bathroom,
Dedicated employee.
and somebody came in and stole my memory card out of my PS2.
Oh, no.
What a shit stain.
And I come back and I had no memory card and gone. Just had to start like all the way back to scratch. I was just like, never mind.
There was a game on the PlayStation 2 that if you cheated or if you fought a boss in the wrong way, it would delete your memory card.
What?
I've heard that.
Not just that game data. Everything. It would format it.
That's fucked up.
I remember reading that like in a Cracked article or something.
That was legit. I think it was one of the Metal Gears, if I'm not mistaken.
I know that Metal Gear for the PlayStation 1 would read things on your memory card and it would talk about them. And also it recognized different things, like if you were fighting Psycho Mantis, if you took the controller port out of port 1 and put it into port 2, he couldn't read your mind. You know, just random things like that. But I don't remember Metal Gear ever erasing files, but it could have been a glitch. I don't know.
What was the first game you guys ever played that had like broke the fourth wall that freaked you out?
What do you mean break the fourth wall?
I remember there was a game that came out on the GameCube called Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
That was what I was literally thinking of when you asked me that.
Great
Fucking
game.
love that game.
Never played it.
If you let the game, it just does it at random as you're playing. You play as a female character who's researching the history of her family in this old creepy ass mansion. And as you are reading your family history, you start to slowly go insane. Well, as you're playing the game, suddenly, I have no idea how many are programmed in the game, but suddenly cockroaches will start crawling all over your screen. Or suddenly I'll just say, all right, game's over, and start running the credits. Or it'll flash to like a blue screen, loading screen, like a computer crash in the middle of your playing. Or
all kinds of random shit. You could walk by statues, and the more like you had a little insanity meter, and the more it would get full, like the statues would like react to you walking by, and if you were full on blown insane, they could kill you.
Yeah.
And the thing that was the most subtle that I liked the most about it was the more insane you got, the more the screen would tilt.
Yes.
And so you would be like walking almost sideways, and it just really put it into perspective that you were losing your
What's the
fucking
name
mind.
of that?
Eternal Darkness.
Sanity's Requiem.
Yeah, it was on GameCube.
It's probably my favorite GameCube game.
Very rare. Mine too. Very rare. Pretty hard to get a hold of. Kind of expensive. You had like 3 different types of magic bases that you could use, and you could only subscribe to one.
But you could create your own.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think on the GameCube, Rogue One is still my favorite.
That was a good one too.
Have you guys seen the trailer for
GameCube,
Rogue
I
One?
like Animal Crossing the best.
Damon was obsessed with Animal Crossing.
It's addictive, man. I don't know. There's no real strife or any competition or anything.
You're wasting
in it.
your
It's
life
just,
away collecting bells.
Oh,
Yes.
That is the whole game.
It's a nice game. I'll play Grand Theft Auto furiously for a while, and then I'll turn on my Wii and play Animal Crossing City Folk just to kind of come down from all the aggravation and killing people and stuff, and just mellow out and fish.
Mario does that.
The
for
one
me.
thing I thought was kind of cool about that game was it actually followed real time.
Yes.
As if it was nighttime, it's nighttime in the game. If it's
And
daytime,
the seasons
it's daytime
change,
in
and
the
the
game.
different
If it was-
bugs and fish and stuff come out.
If it was 4th of July, they'd have a fireworks show at night. If
Yeah.
it was your birthday, they
You
would
get a birthday cake and a present from a neighbor.
You go up to Tom Nook and he'd give you a free something out of the store.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the pattern creations. It was really simple but fun. All kinds of different ways to waste your time in that very, very small town.
Yes,
Yeah. The fishing in that game was really hard.
like the fishing.
This is such a cool podcast you guys have here, man.
Oh, thank you, man.
Appreciate that.
It's awesome to come in here and talk about music and video games. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is literally what we do every week. We just come down and we sit down and talk. Man, if you guys want to come back in and do this again with us,
Oh,
I mean, you're more
definitely.
than welcome
Hell
to.
yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean,
Next
it's not-
time I'll wear the headphones, so
We'll try to set it up where we can get
We'll
it
make
all.
no promises here.
I'll try to. I got more headphones. I just haven't set them up.
Yeah, we got to get a splitter. We can only put 2 on
Well,
this thing
I
over
got
here.
it. It's
Well, we got to. That's the thing. We got to get
Yeah.
it. We got to find it.
I got
somewhere here.
I don't
know
really
where
mind.
it is.
So, question: what's the worst? Absolute any system. What's the worst game you've ever played? Just absolutely, I won't do it again, or I would just to prove how bad it is.
Superman 64. I don't even have to think about it.
God, that's a bad game.
Superman 64. It is
Honestly,
it's worse
any
than,
Superman title, you could pretty much say that.
No, there was a side scroller on SNES that wasn't spectacular, but it was all right. It was set up like Final Fight, only you're Superman, you have heat vision.
That's cute. I don't know. Honestly, I would probably say Star Wars, the which one was it?
What, a Star Wars game?
Yeah, it was so fucking hard. I could not beat the first level. I don't care how hard I tried. I could not beat the first level. I think it was A New Hope. Even you're on the little thing that he crawls inside. He cuts it open. He crawls inside.
Tauntaun?
Is it a tauntaun? See, I was like, I didn't want to say tauntaun and it'd be wrong. I'm not as well versed in the names, guys. I'm not that good. What you got? You guys sharing secrets over there?
Yeah, we're sharing notes over here.
Secrets.
We're passing things back and forth.
Oh, Clay's having a nicotine fit.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this feels like a good stopping point, anyways.
We'll take a break.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're gonna shut her down. Maybe come back. Maybe not. We'll see.
All right.
You guys have anything on the exit going out?
Well, just if you want to find out anything about the band, you can check us out on Facebook or MySpace.
No, don't go to MySpace.
We still have a MySpace
Yes,
account.
we do.
Well, we do too, unfortunately. Actually, that MySpace account.
Yeah.
The Fat Rock Inc. one.
But we're working on some new music. We're going to be releasing a new album called Paranormal, and look forward to the summer. We're going to be booking tons of shows around the area
All right, the best way to get a hold of you guys?
through Facebook.
Through Facebook?
If you want to buy the albums through CD Baby or Reverb Nation.
Reverb Nation. Yeah, we've got an account there. We've recently, Clay has recently been taking to the Reverb Nation again and getting it updated. We kind of let it go for a while. Just
new pictures, new shows, hopefully new tunes real soon.
Yeah, but we're over our winter hibernation period now, so we're back out trying to book every weekend. And
anybody wants to
playing
book
right.
the Ostrich Primer, just go to our Facebook, shoot us a message, and somebody from the band will get back in touch with you, because we are taking any and all gigs right now.
And if you guys haven't heard these guys play yet, you're really missing out on something. Again, we're going to play a full song from them, one of their newer singles that's come out.
Zombie Strippers from Mars.
That's right.
You guys tell us a little bit about that song. What was the inspirato for that?
Oh, that was Clay's baby, actually. He came up with that one. And
I was about to say, that's got Clay Shiner written all over it.
yeah, I think he had the first verse and part of the chorus written, and then I enjoyed it so much I had to add my stuff in too.
I love anything like the B-rated movies and science fiction and horror and stuff. And I was at work one day, and it was a conversation between me and our drummer Brad, and we were just talking about silly song titles. And he goes, "You could probably write a song about, I don't know, zombie strippers from Mars." And we both kind of giggled, and he went on, and I'm sitting there at my workstation going, damn right I could write a song.
Clay just goes,
from
challenge
Mars.
accepted.
So I go home, and I'm messing around on the guitar. I show Charlie. He goes, that's pretty, that's cool. And we've gone from there.
Is that how you guys your songwriting process? Is that normally just how it goes? Somebody just has something random, or do you guys have nights where you get together and write, or?
A little both, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll just set out to do something together, and sometimes one of us will have something, and the other guy will be like, oh, well, let me add some of this in. We kind of collectively do most everything. I mean,
he and I are the two principal songwriters that write together in the band. But
Right.
when we sit down to write something, it always comes out really cool. The best stuff's when we're just noodling.
Right.
That's usually the experience that we had together too. We just, jerking around on something, be like, "Hey, check this out," or whatever, and then it just start to click. Everybody start to feel it.
Charlie's a genius when it comes to vocals. Like, I can come up with riffs all day long, not a problem.
Sure.
But it'll take me 12 hours to come up with "This Is My Cat."
Right.
Or I can't write words for shit.
Yeah.
He can, though. So we like to just do the puzzle pieces like that.
That's
I do
how
like to
write.
write lyrics.
That's how I like to write, because I'm not. I feel like I'm a terrible songwriter per se, but if you have a bare bones song and you bring it to me, I can make it sound 10 times better, just because I hear things that you may not be hearing. Something might be brought. So I don't know. That's where I feel like my strengths are. I like.
Me and you
people-
both are kind of in that neighborhood.
Yeah, you guys are great
we got
musicians.
we got that producer
I
kind of.
wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But
We appreciate the compliment, but you don't have to lie.
I think it's that producer / studio engineer type ear.
Yeah.
I've always liked to dabble in that kind of stuff. I love layering and all that, so I like to make songs bigger. You guys got any songs that you guys are writing and you start playing and you're just like, man, this could be awesome, but
Well,
We have a couple songs that I consider filler songs that
Yeah.
we hardly ever play, just because they're just sort of there for 3.5 to 4 minutes. So
we have some also that are just old that we've had for years that we forget to play or
sure.
And there's a few songs that I just can't play anymore. There's one like the very first song I wrote, "Empty," where I used to scream and hit a really high note, several high notes in there that I just can't do anymore because I've been growling for 10 years. So.
I tell you, if you guys ever drop Elena off your set list, that'll be a very, very sad day for me.
That one's still riding out.
I know it's an older one. I do know that.
I will say that is my personal favorite growth that you guys have had is your vocals have really, really come through. Like
you've really come into your own as a frontman.
Yeah, like whenever you first started, you
originally didn't want to be the front man.
Exactly, and you could tell it was like you were almost. It wasn't like you were shy, but you just were like, I just really don't fucking sing this. You know,
yeah.
You kind of felt like that, and then you started putting a little more ass into it. You could hear that growl.
Oh, I'm horribly shy. I have terrible stage fright. I go by Dark Charlie. I pretend to be someone else. I put on glasses and a tie and go be that guy for however many hours we have to play.
Do you just do it like right before you get on, or are you in character for the day, or what?
No, right before I get on. I'm nervous until we start playing the very first note.
Yeah.
And then Charlie kicks in. I'm cool, and then as soon as I get off stage, I shut down again. And
I disagree. I've known him for such a long time, and we're friends outside the band. And Dark Charlie is absolutely a part of him, but it comes out when he's arrogant or cocky, like full of confidence.
Yeah.
Times when he's not on stage, like he can become Dark Charlie. I've seen him do it before.
Well, with alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol will automatically get you Dark Charlie.
The loose juice.
Yeah. But
liquid courage.
That's where he and I are complete opposites. Like I like to talk to people. I don't have a shy bone in my body.
Sure.
So.
Oh man.
That's for sure. Sorry.
We are going to have to definitely do this again because I know that we had set out to talk more about them, and then we just started having a group conversation.
Yeah, I'd like to talk some more because, like, Tango actually played bass on the very first show that I sang on lead.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Sumo couldn't make it. He was our lead singer at the time. I still couldn't really sing and play bass much then.
Yeah, I only played bass for a few songs.
Yeah.
Well, I make a proposal then. I say we shoot a two-parter, and we put it out in a couple times. Put it out in one, and then...
Yeah, you guys want to take a break and then come back to it?
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be back in just a few minutes with Ostrich Primer.
Woo! Make sure to stick around after the outro, because, we have to do those things. We're going to break this into a two-parter. As soon as the outro is over, you get a special treat. They actually hooked us up with a single, The Zombie Strippers from Mars, from Ostrich Primer. So hang out for that. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Squadcast. Head on over to facebook.com/The Squadcast. That's the best way to get in touch with us and interact with us. We have all sorts of things going on. We'll link to fun things that'll brighten up your day, I promise you. Also, all music was provided by the Bit Burner. Make sure to look him up, check him out, and support him if you really like the sound of that music. He's awesome. He's doing us a huge favor. Thanks again. Have a day.
To bring you the zombie strips from Mars.